only a small chisel. This building, I actually don't know where this building's from. Hey, do you know how old this building is that we're in? I'd say late 1800s. See, what a gift. It's actually pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it used to be a bank.
Okay.
So like back there is a vault. It's not just for show, you know?
You can actually go in there.
Yeah. It's where we hide the bodies.
Okay. You're not joking.
Hey, so before we started this, you were talking about the latest recording process that you were going through. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to start hearing about the difference between like the rock recording process and then what you're doing now. Mm-hmm. Like you said, what you're doing now is not quite as there's not as much pressure, mm-hmm. which was interesting to me. Like, how does that feel?
Yeah. So going from rock to, I guess this is country, but it's still rock. Right? I'm still hitting the piss out of the drums. You know what I mean? In fact, some of the guys get upset if you call this country, which I understand that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not upset, but just like, we're not country.
Sure.
There's just a lot less going on when I'm playing with this genre versus the other one. So it's just not as technical. So there's not much pressure to have to play those technical parts.
Okay.
But just the way that the whole process is done is different. There, with the band I was in before, we'd program the drums out with guitar and kind of just build the song, and it would be very demoed sounding and wouldn't be very clean. Uh-huh. And then after that was all done, we'd record the vocals, clean everything up, and then I would do drums afterwards.
Right.
But with Koe, what we're doing is I feel like if I had never been into music ever, I feel like this is how most people would think about recording music. You go in there as a band, and you kind of just start putting ideas down. You're playing. We would play the songs a certain way, and then we'd try to change a part. So I'd go in and redo drums. We'd kind of redo guitar. It's all recorded separately, mm-hmm. which I don't know if most people know that's how most music is recorded these days.
Well, what do you mean by separately?
Like not recorded at the same time.
Okay.
Drums will be recorded, and then the guitar player will listen to that playback and record the guitar to that. Yeah, there just wasn't the pressure of like, this has to be perfect this time. You can kind of like have different chances to keep playing through it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a lot easier than the last band I was in. So,
do you feel like that might be more expressive, like in an art sort of way?
I guess the way my brain works, it's kind of like you're combing through each pass. Okay, we liked the verse in this one, but we like the chorus in this version better. So you can kind of like comp, put them together that way.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. I prefer to do it that way.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
No, you are. Yeah. But okay. So for people that don't know, so you're drumming for Koe now, mm-hmm. but the way you got there is pretty unique. I don't think it's super normal for most country drummers because you already had a really successful career. Mm-hmm. In like I guess like what you did before was kind of a niche genre.
Yeah, it was metal. It was heavy.
Okay.
It was aggressive, and it was fun. It was something that I had been doing since high school. So it just, it had been growing since then.
Well, didn't you start that band in high school? Or?
Yeah, I was 17, okay. Senior year in high school. I just started playing music with some friends of mine. And then just never got smaller, I guess. I always told my parents, because I know it was kind of a weird thing to present your parents, hey, I'm playing in a metal band. Like, we're going to try to make a living doing this. Most parents wouldn't be, I guess, super stoked on that. But I always told them, hey, if this ever got smaller, if this didn't seem realistic for me, I just wouldn't do it anymore. But it just kept growing.
Yeah.
Fast forward to, I think it was 2014 is when I met Koe and that whole group. My old roommate at the time, he was their producer, or still is their producer. And they had recorded at our apartment back in Fort Worth, and Koe was doing vocals in like the bathroom.
So
stuff like that.
The producer was your buddy.
Yeah.
But y'all have an apartment together in Fort Worth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is when he had just kind of started out.
Okay.
his name is Taylor, the producer. Taylor had recorded Koe's cousin, I think it was.
Okay.
And then Koe had heard that recording and said, "I would love to record with this guy too."
Yeah.
So ended up coming over to the house. I didn't know what Texas country was. Never heard of it ever.
But you're from Texas, aren't you?
I am. So
that's interesting.
It's weird. I was one of those kids that just liked, you know what Warped Tour is?
Oh yeah.
Like Warped Tour kind of music, just kind of alternative rock.
Yeah.
Kind of emo
I
stuff.
had like a weird, cause I have like a sort of similar entrance into country music. I didn't come from like rock or metal, but I came from like what taught me how to play the guitar and how to write songs wasn't necessarily country music. Like I grew to appreciate country and like folk.
Okay.
Maybe at like a little later moment, but obviously growing up geographically around here, country music is sort of just like around.
It's embedded,
always.
right? Yeah.
So it's like, you know, every one of those songs, like you could play any George Strait song. It's like, even when I maybe wasn't super into that music initially, I knew every song just because it's just part of your life. You walk into a store and it's playing. So I think that actually does start to have an impact on, you know, when you start creating something of your own, there's some subconscious stuff that starts coming through. But then, you know, once I got past the idea of like being the best guitar player ever or having to just technically play the most difficult stuff to be good, I could grow to appreciate some things where it's like, wow, that was just an interesting lyrical turn of phrase.
I feel like that's a younger mentality though. When you first start, people ask you, what's the coolest thing you can play? What's the craziest thing you can play? And like, that's where our brains are at the beginning.
Yeah.
But then we think maybe what's the best song? What's the most popular song that you can write? I think it's a different challenge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, cause you start hearing from some of the best musicians I know, you know, like the phrase, it's like the notes you don't play rather than the ones you do play. And it's sort of minimalism. And that's when I started to appreciate the genre a little bit more. But it is, you know, kind of interesting that you didn't hear about Texas country like hardly at all.
I used to be kind of embarrassed about that because of, you know, these guys are coming in and they're super nice. And I do like the music. I just, I wasn't trying to adapt to who they are, but I was like I said, I felt embarrassed a little bit that I didn't know who they were, even know the genre. But then as time went on, I thought, you know what, like everyone has their own story. I'm proud of where I came from. I love the music that I used to listen to growing up. So I like taking my story and then kind of evolving it into theirs. Sure. You know, so.
Well, and but there are some douchebags that like are going to just make you feel bad about it.
I just don't care.
Oh, I know. Dude, don't even listen to them because they're douches. They'll always be douches. But you've probably encountered some guys like that.
Some of them, but most everyone's nice. I don't let that stuff bother me. I don't really give them energy.
There's some purists though. Well, Koe deals with it.
Yeah.
A lot.
I think that maybe helps me because I can see him doing his thing and
for sure
him not caring at all.
Yeah, it's empowering in some ways. Yeah.
That's a good thing about being the drummer and not the vocalist is you can kind of like hide behind your vocalist when you need to. This is his band.
Yeah, dude. Hey, bro.
But at the same time, like, no, I'm in the band. Yeah, I mean, it depends when you want to pick and choose.
Pictures?
Yeah, picture. I'll send to the front, right?
Free alcohol? I'm here, baby.
Exactly. You know how it goes.
Yeah, totally. So you said, okay, so you went on Warped Tour. Is that what you were going to tell me? You asked me.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but I was saying that just to let you know, like, of the type of music that I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Kind of the screaming and like the breakdowns and the mosh pits.
Yeah, man. So like even the guy that got us in touch, Micah, he's sitting over there. I mean, we go back, we've been buddies since we were 13 years old. You know? And he likes a lot of the music that I like. And then he likes a lot of music that I'm not super crazy about, but he's a drummer. Yeah. So I never had like the drumming thing. And I can appreciate a lot of that music because of how technically difficult it is. But like when you're a singer and a songwriter and you're just trying to find like melody and lyrical turn of phrase, I don't know, man. It was always kind of difficult for me to get behind. But like I skateboarded and I raced motocross. And so like there was a lot of that music around.
I was going to bring that up a second ago. The two big sports I'm into are UFC and then motocross.
Oh, did you race motocross?
Fan. I've ridden some, but I always got into the sport later. Dude, so I was already like.
It's one of the craziest.
Yeah.
It's one of the most insane things ever.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
For real?
Yeah.
You still follow it?
I was listening to Pulp MX on the way up here.
I don't even know what that. Well,
Steve Mathis.
Okay.
He used to wrench for Tim Ferry. I'm a big fan.
Tim Ferry's like, isn't he like, that's like super old school, isn't it?
This is the right before Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, dude.
Around that time frame.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So,
do you follow Supercross?
Yeah. I'm going on next Saturday.
Yeah, good for you, races, man. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. So UFC and motocross. Well, yeah, so the Warped Tour thing and rock and all that, I mean, they're heavily involved.
So something I would tell someone who's never been to like a metal show is I get it. I know it's crazy. I've heard this for 15 years of the amount of time I was in this last band. I've heard everything. You just have to go to one. The energy that you feel from that kind of show is unlike anything else.
Really?
It's just so high energy. And obviously if a friend or my parents come to the show, they're going to be on the side of the stage, not going to be in the crowd getting like trampled on.
Sure.
But it's just so intense. It's like the most energy one can feel from like live music, I feel like.
Interesting.
But it's also a young man's game.
What do you mean?
That's a big reason that I chose to move from that band to this band, because
oh, that's funny.
What it does to your body when you're the older you get, playing that stuff is like it's hard on your body.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I feel like I know
you
where
just
you're
meant
going.
just straight from playing.
Yeah.
So it would wear you out.
Yeah. And I was thinking, I don't know if I want to be playing that kind of music.
Is there actual physical like ramifications from playing that type of music for a really long time as a drummer?
Probably.
Elbows, wrists.
I've had some friends that have been playing as long as I have that had to change the way that they physically hit the drums, because they're like rotator cuffs will be like going out on them and stuff like that. I've never had any problems with it, but I could just tell the difference. And the next morning I wake up and I'm super sore. Whoa. And like, I'm sore for other reasons. Like, we just stay up late in that camp. So
yeah.
Don't get
just
enough
staying
sleep.
Up, playing Scrabble.
That's it. Yeah, maybe some Uno or something like that.
Dominos. Uno. Uno. I like Uno.
Uno slaps.
Also played Dominos for the first time.
Yeah?
Like a couple weeks ago. Mexican Train.
I played that one recently.
Which had a little rooster on it, and it was called Mexican Train. And I was like, I feel like this is probably going to get canceled.
Yeah.
You know?
More than likely.
Yeah, I would have to.
I don't know what's going to get canceled or what's not. I feel like nothing's safe.
I just discover new things every day that I'm supposed to be offended by. I'm working on it, trying to get more offended, but it's not going well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Domino's, Uno. Not doing anything other than that late at night. So when you actually transitioned over to Koe, that had to have been a heck of a process, because that was essentially leaving the band that you started when you were in high school, playing the type of music that you like loved.
Yeah, I never thought about stopping. The other band was called Fit for a King. I never thought about stopping playing for them.
Yeah.
When COVID happened, the whole world stopped, and Koe's band, he kept playing music. He was allowed to play certain places because you can wear a mask and go to that kind of music concert. But you can't go to a metal show, and like you can't be really separated from people, right?
Sure.
You're not sitting down at a metal show.
Okay.
So,
well, that's funny you say that, because I would feel like most people, their perception of a Koe show would be pretty wild.
Right. And but you can get away with sitting down or like being in. What we did was we had pods. We would play like these minor league baseball fields, and they would have pods where you can fit like 10 people, and there's 6 feet. Another pod, 10 people.
Okay.
So I agree with what you're saying, but you can get away with having a concert like that, and people still enjoy it.
Got you.
A lot of concerts, people will just rush to the front anyways.
Yeah.
And the security can't really stop you. But
sure,
fortunately, things are basically back to normal now. Yeah, with a metal show, you can't get away with doing something like that. I feel like unless you're Metallica or something that big.
Yeah, I got you. So they just shut it down.
Completely shut down.
Dang.
We were actually in the studio. We had recorded the last album that Koe put out, Sell Out. And I was doing the drums on that album. And
so you actually recorded on that record before you were touring with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had done half of the record before that, Harold Saw High.
Yeah.
And then all of Sell Out. So the relationship was already there.
And Taylor was producing that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Taylor has been in the picture since Noise Complaint. I want to say that was 2015 or 16.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just called Koe one day and said, "Hey, like we've talked about me playing with you for a long time. Like let's pull that trigger because I'm not touring with my other band."
Right.
But the initial conversation was I'll play with you until the world comes back.
Uh-huh.
And then when the world did come back, I was having to try to manage both at the same time.
Oh.
And that was just a nightmare. I was literally like pulling my hair out.
How many dates was Fit for a King doing?
You mean like a year?
Yeah, like roughly.
We did probably 5 or 6 months on the road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're grinding.
So yeah, it's a lot of shows.
Yeah.
But when Fit for a King would go on tour, it'd be like a month at a time.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like with this world, you kind of do a weekend and come
Yeah.
home.
That is
It's different.
Yeah. I don't know why is it different? I don't understand that.
I don't know either. I mean, if we're referencing specifically Texas country, I guess most bands don't travel outside of Texas.
So it's just they're able to do it more like that.
Maybe, I don't know. That's something I'm still figuring out.
Because that's been a struggle for me, like with booking agents.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't get anybody to get on board with the idea of like, let's go just play shows and then be done with it. Just go play shows and be done with it.
Yeah. Your body needs that rest.
But they want to do like this, like, it's like, well, a show here, 2 shows here, and then 2 shows next weekend. I'm like, why can't we just like, I can't get anybody, but all these other genres, that's like the way they do it and the way a lot of agents work. I don't know why. So I don't know why that seems so crazy.
I don't get it either. I really don't.
It seems like, I think it might be a geographic thing though. Because you guys traveled further with Fit for a King, right?
Yeah. I've been all over the world with that band.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing with just, I'm 31, so I'm not that old, but like I've had a chance to go see everything. And like, it's not that I don't want to do that anymore, but I've seen it. I'm like, okay, it'd be nice to just like, be able to come home more.
For sure. But so like you're a road dog though.
Yeah. I love being on the road.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah. Man, you were doing that all through your 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, living the dream. All over the world. Like how many different countries?
I did I did 3 European tours, so all over Europe. I don't know how many countries we went to in Europe, but we did South Africa, done Australia a few times, Japan, Canada. We've been all over the place.
Yeah. How big of rooms would y'all be playing in somewhere like Australia?
One of the tours we did over there, not that big. I would say 500 capacity places.
Okay.
You know, we'd just never been there before.
Yeah, but shoot, to go all the way over there and play a 500 seater, I think that's freaking crushing it. If I could do that, I'd like, I wouldn't talk to people. You know what I mean?
You're not worthy.
Hey.
No, it was cool. It was just that country in and of itself is awesome. It's I would relate it more to like California. It's just very like young and free style vibe.
Yeah.
It's expensive, but Australia is so beautiful.
What cities were y'all in?
We did on the east side. So Australia has the same landmass as the US. So it's pretty big. But it's like like 98% of it is uninhabitable.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's big, but like you have to travel a long ways. We played like Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide. I honestly I haven't been there since 2014, so it's been a while, but I think we played like 10 different cities over there.
Well, so did y'all sign like did y'all get a label deal early on or?
Yeah, that band signed in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, and then started touring full time about 2013.
Yeah.
So it's been a hot minute.
For sure.
But yeah, we had a manager, then got signed to a record label, and at the same time got a booking agent.
Yeah.
Or like a better booking agent.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard thing to do is a record label. It's hard for them to want to invest in you if other people haven't shown interest. Like, why would we sign you? There's no like booking agents trying to talk to you, or there's no manager.
Yeah,
So
it all feeds each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gives each other credibility.
Uh-huh.
So, but yeah, it's been a while since we had signed that record deal, and the band is still signed to the same label. So
yeah, that's rare.
The relationship is really good.
I think that's rare. I don't know about the more.
Yeah.
How do I refer to it? Sorry, I'm an idiot. Like, is it the like rock world, metal world?
Metal rock.
Is it metal?
It's probably similar the way that they work.
Okay, because I just don't know as much about that world in terms of labels and that's the dynamics there.
I'm assuming that they work similarly.
I would have to think so.
But what labels do is at the end of your contract, before you have a chance to go talk to other labels, they give you a new deal, and if you don't choose to go with that one, then like they can revoke that deal, and you have to basically like hope the other labels will offer you something better.
Yeah, sounds about
so. They've just always offered us a better deal, the label that we were signed to.
Are you seeing some more younger bands just try to do the DIY independent thing a little bit more now, or no?
I think a lot of bands think being signed means making it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It just means what a record label is. It's basically like a bank. They loan you money. You go to the studio. You do your music videos.
Preach it.
And you have to pay all that money back.
Preach it.
But the difference is you would hope that the record label knows that they're putting the money in the right places, with whether most bands just don't know what to do. So they're assuming that the label knows what to do. But ultimately, it's a bank. What you could do is invest in someone who knows how to put your money in the right places, and then just go to the bank and get a loan out. And the rates are way better.
Yeah.
You know, so the
rates are way totally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cause they're a bank, but the interest rate they charge you is insane.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
that's reassuring.
So Koe's last record was called Sellout. I think it was, a lot of people think, oh, he signed a deal with this record label. They don't know what that means.
No.
It's a bad sounding thing.
Well, plus when you hear somebody sign with a label, you give this big broad, they signed. And it's like, but dude, all those deals are so different.
Oh yeah.
Like Cody Johnson signing a deal or co-signing a deal is far different than some new young act going to Nashville that nobody knows and signing a deal with Warner. Yeah. I bet those deals look a lot different. Yeah. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah. Coastal has all like the creative control. I think he just signed a distribution deal too.
Exactly.
So he had all the leverage before he even walked in there. I'm not sure about Cody Johnson's deal, but I'm assuming it was a similar thing.
Yeah, I mean, because most of those acts, like at that point, it becomes way more of like an acquisition or a merger than, actually selling out and
because like what you said, if you're a young band going to Nashville and trying to make it, you're basically saying, I don't even care about making money right now. I just want to get popular and get, I don't want to say famous, but you want to get your name out there.
Yeah, like you said, there's no leverage.
No leverage.
Yeah.
But I think Cody Johnson and Co. had leverage when they made those deals.
It seems like to me that now with the internet, though, at least there's some people that are starting to realize, like, I think you can probably do this on your own. If you just get some little pieces to the puzzle moved in there with people that can help you in the right way, you don't need a label anymore.
Right.
Because you can go like direct to consumer.
I
think. Yeah. At least in my world, I think that's the way. But there still is that deal that...
you just want that help, that it feels like a strong support behind you, and you have a label that it just honestly, it sounds cooler, I guess, to some people, maybe not to everyone.
It for sure does. I think it's validation.
A label, man. Validation, supporting. Hey, I have this group of people behind me that are working to make me bigger and making me more successful. It's
still the same way with like radio or something. Where, not to knock on radio, but like you could have millions and millions of streams on Spotify and like from people all over the world. And like, when you say that to like your great aunt at the family reunion, she's like, okay. But when you're like, my song's on the radio, they're like, oh, wow. Okay. You're really doing it, huh?
Yeah. It means something to them.
Yeah, but what it objectively means is like not the same.
I feel I don't know exactly how radio works, but in my experience, you pay people to put your music on the radio, so it's like, but most people don't know that.
Yeah,
maybe not for everyone, but just for the experience that I have, you kind of have to pay to make that happen.
Yeah. For the most part, it's pay for play. Which sort of goes into my theory a little bit. Like a lot of artists, a lot of musicians, they kind of like don't want to do it themselves. they like kind of want somebody to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
They like sort of want to go do the brown nosing and be like, I met this person. They're going to make it happen for me rather than being like, screw everybody. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why I've always thought Koe was pretty dope because he's like, dude, I don't need nobody.
He had the balls to do it.
I'm just going to do it and do my thing.
Yeah. I think,
like him or not.
Yeah.
Like it's him and he's doing his thing and like, can't really argue.
I think what happens a lot of times is bands will play for so long and they get burnt out. They get to the point where they're thinking, well, I'm either going to sign a deal and maybe they'll help push me further to where I need to go, or it's like they quit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's rare that bands start and pop off instantly.
Yeah.
So
how many times did y'all think about quitting?
There were 2 times I thought about quitting.
2. Like specifically 2 times.
Yeah.
You answered that pretty quick.
Yeah, there's right before we got signed, I was like, this just isn't going to happen. But I didn't have these aspirations to be a touring professional, like making a living doing this. I didn't have it.
Well, what do you mean you didn't have the aspirations to do it?
That was never my goal.
Okay.
When I started a band was just to be a professional drummer, whatever you want to call it, like to make a living doing this. I just wanted to play music with my friends and travel and just be wild on the road. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted to do. And there was never much thought.
Play dominoes.
Yeah, or Uno, something crazy. If you want to get crazy.
Or no, if you want to get real crazy, play reverse Uno. You ever seen that?
I have not seen that.
It's an off-brand one. But,
okay.
I'll have to introduce it to you sometime.
Okay.
Reverse Uno.
Yeah, I just didn't have those dreams. And then, so that was right before the band got signed. And then in 2014, we put out another album that I just wasn't stoked on. And when you put out an album, you have to play those songs on the road over and over and over. So it was music I wasn't passionate about.
How many albums had y'all done before 14?
Like 3 or 4.
Okay. Dang. So y'all had already recorded a lot of music.
Yeah. We've been out there for a while.
Interesting. And then so you did a record that you just weren't super into. Like,
yeah, we went to this new producer who honestly, the producer was great. It just wasn't, we had just gotten a new bass player that also was helping with the singing. It's no one's fault. We just kind of like were thrown into the studio with not really the right material with this new singer. It was like none of it was really cohesive.
Yeah.
And it's no one's fault.
Sure.
This is just my personal experience and my opinion. Maybe the other guys loved it, you know? So I just didn't feel like I was stoked to play those songs. So I had thought about quitting. The touring was just all right. It wasn't our best year of playing music.
In what way? Like crowd reaction or sizes of crowd or just the way y'all were playing?
I don't know if this is normal for musicians, but I had like that whole year was a lull in my drumming. It just didn't feel good playing.
That was funny. You did this. You said it was a lull in my drumming.
I did do that.
I'm like, it's like a lull in my guitar playing.
I feel like when I talk about music, I always got a guitar. I don't know why. I wish I could play guitar, but I can't.
It's better than like going to singing. That would be weirder.
Yeah. I actually used to sing and play drums when the band started. I was one of those guys.
For real?
Yeah.
Why'd you stop?
I was kind of just a guy who wanted to do it in the beginning, but never thought I was like an insane singer. I can hold pitch all right, and I was passionate about writing melodies and stuff like that. So then when we got someone who was actually good at it, then I just stopped doing it.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Like a harmony guy?
No, that guy was doing like the lead.
Oh.
Like I know.
You were like singing.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I know about like harmonies and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't, and I'm honest about it. I wasn't the best at it. I was just all right.
Yeah.
I'm not like definitely not like a lead singer caliber.
Okay. That's always been a weird thing. Like what makes actually somebody have like a lead singer's voice? I always think it's just like uniqueness.
Mm-hmm.
Like there just has to be some sort of vocal quality or tone out or something.
Makes them stand out.
Yeah. I think that's like across like most genres.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be something that sort of sets it apart.
And there's also people who just sound good singing no matter what. Like I think a John Mayer is a good example. He can just sing the grocery list or like Drake, you know what I mean? And it just sounds good.
Those were two so funny.
Very different.
Those are really funny ones to put back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Mayer and Drake. But I mean, shoot, they pop up in a Dillard's elevator.
Yeah.
So you're going to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Drake probably isn't in a Dillard's.
I bet you he is.
You think so?
I think so.
Probably nowadays.
Yeah.
It used to be way more Mayer, though. But Mayer was probably like Nordstrom.
Yeah.
It's like a solid Nordstrom rack thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or a Macy's. Macy's has gone out
That was
of
a
business.
J.C. Penney kid. My mom would take me there.
Dude, who played at J.C. Penney?
This is before Bublé, huh? I feel like he'd be a J.C. Penney guy.
Bublé. Oh yeah, Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
I don't know why I was thinking that you were trying to say Bieber.
Oh.
I just was not thinking of Michael Bublé.
Bublé
for sure is a J.C. Penney.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Penney, Macy's, and Christmas time.
Oh yeah,
dude, he's all over it. He's probably on the walls.
He's got like those stand-up posters.
Oh, for sure. The full body posters. Hey, so I went to Nashville actually for the second time, and for a bachelor party not that long ago. And like to go down Broadway. Have you been to Nashville? I'm sure you have. To go down Broadway, and everybody always rants and raves about like, oh my gosh, you can just stop in any bar and it's the most unbelievable talented person you've ever encountered. And it's like, no,
don't agree with that.
That's not true.
I have seen a lot of talent there, but I wouldn't say
for
every
sure.
place you go into.
But like the way people talk about it,
yeah,
it doesn't match up. Because I heard some trash.
Mm-hmm.
Also heard some really great stuff. But these, what do you call them? They're like these rollout life-size versions of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
With like all of their social media and criteria, and like 4-time best singing artist of East Tennessee. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And one person does this set for 2 hours, plays whatever songs, and then the next person rolls in. Like that dude rolls up, rolls up his little thing. The next guy rolls his one out.
What do you call those?
Plays like the same set. It's like the same songs. And I was just like, this is unbelievable.
Well, yeah, some people just don't have that voice to make them stand out, right? I didn't have that voice, and I realized it. But some people just want it so bad, and maybe their time is just not now. But a lot of people in Nashville are trying to make it,
dude. Well, like you saying that you didn't really have the aspirations to just be huge or whatever, be a star, and play in a band and do all that. You just wanted to play music, and it was kind of more for the love of the game.
Yeah, it was more simple than I want to go out and like play arenas and I want to be massive, do this forever.
Do you think that makes a difference? Sorry to cut you off. I have to get this question out because I think it's super important. Do you think that makes a difference, like on the back end, probably where you're at now and where you're going? Like why you did it was not to just seek attention and to just be cool. Do you think that makes a difference on like your happiness now?
I think it's something good to look back upon and think, this is why I started it, just because it was fun. And like in my story, my exact story is I just wanted to play drums and it's my favorite thing to do. So like, why don't I just do this as long as I can? Mm-hmm. So to me, it's the simplicity of that thought is fun to look back upon. Yeah.
So like, as opposed to somebody that is seeking some sort of just extra validation or attention. And like, that's what the ultimate goal is, whether or not they're honest with themselves about that. And then once maybe they get that, and it's like, it's probably not going to satisfy them as much as they think. And then it's ultimately going to go away at some point. I have
two thoughts on that. There's two perspectives. One is like, there's some of those people that have no shame and they'll post whatever. And some of it's for validation. I feel like I'm too aware. I'm like, oh, people are going to think I'm looking for validation. So like, I don't post something.
Okay.
Right. If it seems like they're too thirsty for that, like those likes, or like they're posting with picture with this dude because he has a lot of followers. You know what I mean? I'm like, very aware of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I think some people just don't care. I'm posting this for likes. I don't care. I'm posting this for whatever, for validation reasons. And sometimes it works out and they keep climbing that ladder. And I feel like I'm more on the side of like, I don't want them to think I'm trying too hard.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I wouldn't say one's right or wrong. It's just
right.
Whatever you're more comfortable with.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to sound too like artsy fartsy though, like, because I never really thought I would be that person, but it really does to me boil down to like, you would be real happy just like playing drums with your buddies in a garage, playing music. Like you would be super down with that.
Not now.
Not well. Okay. All right. I get it. Like we have to make a living and like have to, like have to make it realistic. I understand that. But like from my perspective, if I didn't have anything happening in music, I would still write songs.
Yes.
And I would send them to my buddies in an email. We would go play poker on a Friday night and they would tell me if it was cool or stupid.
The passion's there no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the older you get, the more like you have responsibility and you have.
Totally. Yeah.
You have
for sure.
Yeah. That's the difference.
But the goal isn't like necessarily just for attention.
Right.
I think.
No, not for me. Some people it is.
That's what I mean. And I think it ends up being empty for some people.
Yeah.
Because it's like they might even get it. And then they're like, oh, well, this wasn't actually as cool as I thought. And then they get it and then it goes away. And they're like, oh boy, now I'm super sad. Because now I lost it.
Yeah. I know a lot of friends who have, you kind of find your validation in playing music. And especially when you do it for so long, I understand why they do that. And I don't want to be that person. I'm trying to like not find my validation in, oh, this is the drummer of Koe Wetzel. I don't want that to be a thing.
Cool.
I do like that. That's a thing, but I'm saying I don't want to be, I don't want to only be that person.
Did you catch flack from like your genre because you were moving over and doing this? I don't feel like that was a normal transition. What?
No, it's kind of ironic because it happened to two other drummers at the same time. I think that helped me feel better about it. The drummer that's playing for John Langston, do you know him?
Not personally.
Yeah.
I know of
John
him.
Langston. Do you know him or of him?
Yeah.
Anyways, his new drummer and then the drummer of Jelly Roll. We were all like, we're in the same genre.
Yeah.
And so like we were all texting each other, hey, are you going to quit to do this? I'm like, I don't know. Are you going to do, we had this like triangle conversation going on. And, it was nice to be able to relate to someone else that was in the same position. And it kind of all happened through COVID. So, yeah, I didn't really catch flack. I didn't care. Do you know what I mean? Because I was looking out for me.
Sure.
And I wasn't screwing over my other band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I gave them like months and months advance. And I told them all the time, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'm going to do this tour with y'all. You know what I mean? I was very honest with them.
Yeah.
And so the transition from that band was super easy. Yeah.
I didn't realize that there were some other guys in that same genre that were doing it too. Is it a lot of it from COVID, or is there something happening more than that?
That's a good question. I saw that it all happened during COVID, but that's why I did it. I don't know if that's the exact reason that those guys chose to do it that way.
Yeah.
I think it just opened the door for that to happen. Because when the metal world stopped, there was no way to make money. You can't. Fortunately, our record label gave us money during that time, so that was sick.
For real?
Yeah, that was awesome of them. But I don't know if the other bands' labels did that. So I'm sure that they were, pressured to make money, and so they were maybe feeling more pressure than I was. I'm guessing.
But the dirty little secret, maybe not so dirty, but is the streaming stuff. Like even some of the guys that maybe sign major label deals.
Yeah, I'm scared about major label deals. I feel like they're so cutthroat. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I've never signed one.
Yeah, if you're not aware of like how the world is working, I think you can get yourself in a real pickle and then not even know that you're getting screwed, because the streaming deal changed it for sure. And I get a little bit nervous sometimes when I talk to like some guys that I know maybe like are on like maybe not a major label, but labels, and they signed like 2013, 14, 15. Because back then, it like Spotify, Apple Music, like a lot of the streaming wasn't taken off.
I think 2014 or so was when that really started becoming a thing.
Yeah. And then even then, they just didn't quite have the infrastructure in place to like collect the revenue. Right. So there was still like money being left on the table. And I think my theory is there's some guys that have signed some deals that they don't actually know how much revenue they're generating. That's my theory. Because I'm not like I'm just doing my little thing and just trying to grow and build, you know. And but like it's getting to a point where I'm like, well, damn, I like make like a real little living over here, like with my songwriting royalties. And then I talked to some of these dudes who have like way more streams than me, and they're like, yeah, I mean, you make some money on it. And
I just have no idea.
I'm like, that something's not adding up here. And I wonder if they're just not aware. Because if you're not seeing it come in, so I mean, I pray that they're not getting hosed. But I think in about 10 years, we're going to have like the documentaries where just like back in the old deal where they got screwed on the record deals.
There's bands all the time, even like actors. Who was the actor? The comedian where his brother stole all of his money. He was his manager.
Oh, shoot. It was, well, there was probably a bunch of them, but Dane Cook.
Was
it really him?
Yeah. He got all of his money stolen.
Brother.
Yeah, his own brother stole it.
Yeah, he was his manager.
I've heard a lot of stories about their manager just taking advantage of the bands and stuff like that. Because bands just don't know what they're doing.
Look, man, when I type in on my little digital distributor, when I upload a song to the World Wide Webs, and I type in on the distribution, like the percentage, the cuts of the royalties, I mean, if you're the one filling that out, it's as simple as just going 0%, 100%. It's just right there on the little website page, and they would never know. Or you just put them in for whatever, 30%, and then they get 30%. And then if there's enough streams, the 30% would probably be a substantial amount of money. And if the artist is constantly being fed, there's no money in streaming, then they would be like, well, I make a little bit, so hey, I'm doing pretty good. There's no money in streaming anyways. But then they're just, I don't know. I hope not. But it seems like and it would be so easy if you're the guy filling out the form.
Yeah. Not good. That's not good.
Well, shoot. Hopefully I'm not telling you something that like.
No. I've been through like horror story. Not with the money portion, but like a small example is this is like back when the band was not big at all, but.
Because you kind of looked at me and you were like.
Well, because my brain's turning. It's not accusing you.
Like, oh no.
No. One of our guitar players at the time uploaded the wrong MP3s, and we printed all these CDs and stuff like that, and put this music up on like, I think it was iTunes or something, and it was like the demoed, unmixed version. We had spent all this money. Do you know what I mean? Like that's where my brain went. Dude, honest mistake, but it's like,
where'd you go from there?
This was like 2009. You know what I mean? A long time ago.
Oh, dang.
This is before like money was much of a thing for us. But yeah, it was
were you able to pull it all down? Well, you obviously can't.
Well, we didn't know it until we had sold CDs at a concert, like a physical copy. And someone said, hey, is this supposed to be an instrumental? It was super embarrassing, but like, dude. At the same time, like no one was there to double check him. No one asked questions. It was just an embarrassing thing. So that's where my brain went more so than like someone stealing from us. But going back to like keeping your manager accountable, that's important. Fit for a King has had the same manager since 2010. And you still have, like, we're very close friends with him, and you still have to talk to him every now and then and say, hey, like, what are you doing for us?
Sure.
Can you like show us what you're physically doing?
Yeah.
And he's our homie.
Sure.
But like, he's making a lot of money off the band, so he shouldn't feel pressured by that question.
No. And if talk about a telltale sign if somebody's taking advantage of you. If you ask for anything or like, what's up? What do you got going on? And they get defensive. It's like, okay. Like that should be a super easy. If you are doing something, you should be excited to answer that question.
I'm glad you asked. So I've been working my ass off.
Yeah, you guys don't freaking ever care what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking because I'm killing it for you. When they get mad. But yeah, it seems like there maybe needs to be some sort of checks and balances within, and that's probably any business. It's like the accounting guy has to know that, like
100%. I was actually talking to a guy today, and a pretty big artist from around here, and he was talking about how he didn't feel like his manager like had any fire underneath his butt before, like, so he wants to work with someone who actually cares and someone who's willing to like maybe shop them to labels. And so he was asking me like, hey, do you know anyone that could maybe potentially help us out? And I just thought that was interesting how we're bringing it back up now, how important it is for someone to believe in who you are and actually want to invest the time and energy into promoting you.
Yeah. How quickly after when y'all started recording music, how quickly did y'all sign?
We started playing music in 2007, signed in 2012.
Oh yeah,
5
so
years.
you had a grind for sure. Gosh, dude,
played the worst shows for so long.
Oh, did you have a booking agent or no?
Not till 2012,
dude. And that is such a tough one to be in.
Guitar player just messages people. Oh. Here's how it used to work. This will date me. You get on our guitar player would get on MySpace. He would go to, let's say there's a band that is from Dallas. We were from East Texas at the time in Tyler. There's a band from Dallas.
Were you born in Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Born and raised in Tyler. He would check and see if there's a band that's a similar size, maybe a little bit bigger in Dallas. He would say, "Hey, do you guys want to show swap or something like that?" And then that band would say, "Hey, there's a promoter in the area that we're friends with. You should message him." So then you play for, $50, $100, however much it is starting out. And like, it's just a grind and it's awful. But at least that's when you're super hungry to play and you just love playing music. Yeah, man. So yeah, we'd become like top 8 friends with whoever on MySpace.
Top 8.
Do you know what I mean?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
So what, you would put them in your top 8?
Something like that. I actually wasn't the person who would run the MySpace, but it was kind of like, find friends from different areas that were a decent sized band, or maybe a little bit bigger than yours or the same size, and try to like grow your bands at the same pace. Yeah.
And then you just grind it out, man. Do you feel,
we played a show for 0 paid before. No one paid.
Oh yeah. Exposure bucks, right?
Yeah, this is like right before we got signed, and that was like one of the moments I was like, dude, I don't know if we can do this.
For real.
Yeah.
And then, so how did they find you? Was it like a guy that was at a show or what?
How we got
like
signed?
Like an A&R guy or something was like at a show, or they just kind of been...
We got signed without him even seeing us. We had just had good sales.
Oh, okay.
Record sales.
Yeah.
And it was also one of those things with the manager at the time. Or actually, he wouldn't sign us. The manager wouldn't sign us because he said, "Hey, like, you need to change this, and this." And then I'll like talk to you again about managing your band. 6 months later, we changed everything he asked. He was like, "Oh, yeah, you guys actually did what we asked you to do."
Right.
Then he helped us get signed. You know what I mean?
No kidding.
Yeah, we wanted it. We wanted to keep growing our band. And we weren't afraid to hear things that most bands maybe are afraid to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So
how about like your process in becoming, how much better do you think you are as a drummer like now as opposed to when you started?
I think I'm a lot better. I just think so just to compare metal to this country rock thing is like, they're both technical to do. There's something challenging in playing something simple, but playing it very well, very clean, versus like when there's a lot more hits to be played in metal, it still sounds impressive, but like it can be a little sloppy, but still sound like, whoa, how did he play that? Right.
Sure.
Versus if you play a simple beat, but it sounds a little off, it sounds off.
Sure.
So there's a different challenge in that too. And to me, it's not as hard on your body, but it's still fun to try to play awesome.
Okay. So backing up to your entry point into like drumming, playing with a real band, getting signed to a label, playing that type of music, like, would you ever see yourself saying that, what you just said?
Oh, no. I hated country. But I was one of those like rebel kids. I was like, if it's not like a little heavy, if it doesn't have like high pitched singing or whatever it was, I was it's not good. Yeah. But there would be no logic behind it. I was just a teenager that was like, a little rebellious and like liked what I liked. I remember, so I started playing drums at church. Like the first drum set gig I ever had was playing for the praise band. Yeah. I had like 2 kick drums set up. It was so over the top and like
for sure.
way too much. But yeah.
And the dude's up there just Lord got 'em.
Oh yeah, I was playing my little heart out,
Dude.
It was great though. But yeah, I don't know. I just definitely didn't like country. Didn't like anything that was softer.
Yep.
But
Well, that's funny that you brought up Mayer.
Oh, and big John Mayer. I used to make fun of one of my friends in the praise band for liking John Mayer.
Whoa.
And like Dave Matthews and all this stuff.
Oh,
all bands.
Well, see that's a weird one though.
His voice
I can
is just
understand
weird.
Mayer, but like as a drummer, if you hear a lot of Dave Matthews stuff, it's like, especially live.
Yeah, well, Carter Beauford is an insane drummer.
I mean, good gosh.
Yeah.
Did he wear golfing gloves?
I think so.
Come on.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
No, he just has it. But yeah, I used to talk shit for sure.
Even about Dave Matthews?
Yeah, there was no logic behind what I was saying. It was just like, oh, this person is not what I like, so it's bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so when did that really start changing for you?
When I started writing and trying to make a living doing this, you're like, oh,
okay,
like it's not easy. Like if people hear like a worship song, let's say, and there's like 3 chords the whole song. Anyone can do that, you know? It's like 3 chords. We'll just write one then. Then when you start trying to write, you're like, oh wow, like
okay,
this is hard.
Oh, so it was like humbled by just like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, trying to do it.
Yeah.
So you like to write too?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I like that process a lot.
Yeah, I heard you mention that you really dig like melody or chasing down melodies.
I've always been a melody guy versus like in metal specifically. There's like a melodic version of metal, and there's also like just heavy riffs. You know what I mean?
Ah, dude, that is my number one knock on that music.
So
like even what the heck is that song? It's one of y'all's biggest songs. I'm gonna I just listened to it earlier. What the heck is that? Grip. What
Death
the heck
Grip?
is it? Death Grip. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's like that little chorus melody
Mm-hmm.
is super dope.
It's nothing crazy. It's like pretty simple.
But I love like the minimalist
I do
type
too.
deal. Like even Taylor Swift's deal where she'll do like those one note verse melodies.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it like gives you the ability to take the chorus and really do something special with it
Right.
and really make it pop. But then it's like, man, I don't know. It's like the scream just.
That's the part you can't get on.
I don't.
That's not weird.
It's not.
No, who cares?
But I want to like it. I want to like it.
Maybe go to a live show.
I for sure need to.
Yeah. Even if you don't like it, then at least you know. Okay, I tried it, so I don't like
I
it.
for sure don't
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's certain things that works with.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things you just can't come back from. Like there's some things you can't try.
You're very
You know what I mean?
reverse Uno's.
It's a reverse, you know?
No, but with metal, I prefer like the melody and guitars versus like the super heavy chugging and like the riffing.
Yeah.
Which I like both at this point, but
Yeah.
at the time I preferred the melody.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How do melodies typically? So did you write a bunch for King?
Mhm.
Like you wrote a lot of those songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the one keeping it more simple, honestly. Like I prefer
Really?
like to make it more digestible versus a lot of metal is like what's happening here, and which is cool.
Yeah.
It's its own thing, but I liked it to like I liked you to be able to know where every part's at. You don't have to worry about what timing is this? How can I bob my head to this weird timing music? I was like, 4/4.
Yeah, dude.
Just make this groove.
Yeah. Pop music.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah.
Every genre has it, man.
Yeah.
Like pop to me is not a dirty word.
Mm-hmm.
Pop country is.
Very dirty.
That's
word.
a dirty word.
Yeah.
Like, because most of that stuff's just trash.
Yeah.
Absolute trash. But I just mean in the sense of like, just because a lot of people like it doesn't mean it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I think there's something to doing something that the masses like.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's saying, I mean, that's kind of the point of art in some ways. Like, you're going to tell me some of the biggest songs of all time.
That was me telling people that country was bad when I was younger. Like I didn't have any logic behind it. I just said it was bad because it wasn't what I liked.
Yeah.
But like you just said, if that many people like it, how can it be bad? Like it maybe isn't as intellectually written. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
not as like detailed, but like it can still be good.
Yeah.
Just may not be your thing.
Man, there's just something to me that is so intriguing and endearing. A musician that could just rip your face off,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't, and they just play something that
But
just
they have, yeah. I think John Mayer is a good example of that, right?
for sure.
Yeah.
He's such a great example. And he talks about it. And I love how his records, I'm a huge John Mayer fan. And his records, like, he doesn't have these huge solo sections for the most part. Like with guitars, he chooses these super melodic, like serve the song type bridge sections, solo sections. And then live, he's able to like extend that and then really like dig in on the guitar.
I've never seen him live.
For real?
Everyone tells me how insane their live show is.
Oh, dude, it's
I would
incredible.
love to go see it, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen him a few times. Like seen him in Dallas and saw him out in Vegas one time.
No way.
Yeah, it's killer.
Does he play stadiums? Is he that big, or is it like arenas? What size venues does
Arenas.
he play? Yeah.
Arenas. He doesn't play stadiums, I don't think. Maybe no, but he's not that big. Which that's interesting that he hasn't gotten to that point. Because in my mind, he's huge.
Same.
But yeah, then there's that whole other level of a stadium.
Dude.
Like what?
We bring up Morgan Wallen yet? How big is that dude now?
He's playing stadiums? Stadiums. And I mean, what do you think about it?
I like his music. I got no shame. His voice is awesome to me.
He so digs gritty. In.
Oh yeah. It's so gritty though. It's like,
so hit and miss for me though.
That's fair.
Like he'll do something that I'm like, this is so good. And then there'll be a next one. It's got a trap beat on it. And I'm like,
sure.
Cause I don't like rap music with a trap beat. I hate that stupid hi-hat.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just like everybody did it. And that's just annoying now. It's just an annoying sound to me.
We would never do anything like that, but I understand why you don't like it. But like,
then he'll have another one that's really good.
Yeah, I get why people do like it though. It's maybe a sense of familiarity with rap or something. I don't know. Not your thing though.
No, the hi-hat thing, and it's an unnatural sound. But even I like a lot of programmed drum sounds. Like I'm super into 80s music, like 80s pop and stuff. And like some of those drum sounds are the most ridiculous sounds ever.
Dude, I love the 80s.
But I love them. I love
snares like
oh, you know what I mean? Dude, just it's the splashiest, most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
Love it. So like most musicians, I'm like just kind of all over the map. You really can't even it's just that's why it's just all kind of opinion at some point. So it's hard to knock somebody too much.
I'm the same as you. I have a wide spectrum of music that I like, but I didn't used to. Remember, I used to talk shit on some bands just because they weren't what I liked. Yeah. But how you and I write music now, it's like you grow an appreciation for other genres.
For sure.
That's why I'm not hating on Morgan. I actually like his music, but I can understand how everyone doesn't like it. Yeah. You can't deny his voice, though. That dude's got a killer voice. And he does get in, he gets in some freaking super good songs. Country starts to frustrate me at some point because it starts to become really pandering. Like, obviously, like dirt roads and beer and jean shorts and all that. It's like, that's not, like, I'm a horseshoer. My wife trains barrel horses. Okay. And we have a horse ranch. Nice. It's like, I am, and like the people I hang out with, like rodeo and ride bulls, and like it, like we're what they're. I guess they're trying to like say that they are. Yeah, and it's like, no, I don't want to roll in the hay with my wife. I don't want to do that at all. I don't even want to see hay. Yeah, you know. Yeah, and it's just it's the same way a politician goes around and like they go do a campaign in Georgia and they start talking a little bit slower, you know? And it's like, dude, please give me a break. Stop it. It's painful. Yeah. It's just pandering. And country seems to be maybe not. It seems like one of the only ones that kind of does that, where it becomes such a cultural thing. Well, with metal, you just talk about the most brutal, intense things you can think about. It's something that, literally you can say anything. Like lyrics don't have to make sense sometimes. For real? I wouldn't say that with my band, with my old band, but like, I feel like a lot of bands, their lyrics just don't make sense, but it sounds heavy and it sounds really intense. So people like it. Yeah, I guess. So too. It probably does exist like in every genre where they just, because it does become like a little microcosm for just whatever everybody's into is just kind of what you pander to. And then there's one person that comes through and just like does something totally out of the mold. And then that's the new thing. I guess exactly what Koe did. It is. Like everybody was like poo-pooing him. And I guess that some people still kind of do. I think the more traction you get, the more people are going to try to bring you down. When you're small, people like don't talk crap on you. They just, I mean, why would they? But when you get bigger, it's like, oh, this record's different from this record. He's not good anymore, or whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. So I think that's always going to be a thing.
Did that happen to y'all at all with Fit for a King? Like, do y'all catch that kind of stuff?
I would say so. For us, it was like the first record did really well. Second one, every record got the band bigger, but the angle of growth was like here, and then the next one like really blew the band up. Say blew the band up, but there was a significant difference in growth from like the third one on.
Yeah, kids who are like starting out and maybe not even necessarily need to be a drummer and stuff. Like, what do you think is the best way to like really start getting some traction and making something happen in today's day and age, like with playing music?
First off, just practice, like literally play your instrument, because there's nothing else that can replace that. You can't like watch videos and like get better. You have to like physically play the drums. Doing that, being connected in like the scene, whatever scene that you want to be in, just be connected, talk with people, and like be likable. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be fake, but just like don't be an asshole.
Totally.
Be someone that people want to be around. Those are really important things.
That's a really important one.
It really is.
Being somebody that people like to be around. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, those are probably two bigger ones.
Don't try to be somebody that people like to be around.
Yeah. Be yourself. Just like, I guess when you're younger and like developing those skills, like definitely have that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until, like 6 years ago. That's when something just hit. And I was like, yeah, like I know a lot of drummers that are awesome. Why aren't they getting these gigs? I don't understand. Oh, because no one likes them. Yeah, for a bad hang. Legitimately, yeah.
That's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to play in that many shows. Mm-hmm. Like you're running down the road in a van or a bus with these dudes. Like if you're not cool,
it's not going to be worth their time to want to be with you.
No, dude. Like
there's
even
so many more people that are going to put in the effort to make that happen.
Dude, and like a vibe on stage, maybe not as much. I don't know. Like I'm probably kind of like, talking out of place. But like probably a more programmed show. Mm-hmm. It's not even about being on click, but like if you have a lot of stems and like a lot of like a full production.
King did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so if you have a big production like that, it's much more, it seems much more just, predetermined in some ways. There's not quite as much
free flowing or like room to ad lib.
Sure. So maybe in that world, it's not as important to have like a good vibe on stage.
Playing wise, yeah.
Yeah.
But most of the time on the road, it's not playing.
For sure.
Remember, yeah.
For sure. But what I was going to say is like maybe playing a little bit more unscripted live show. Dude, that chemistry on stage is like so important. Mm-hmm. So even if some dude might be technically more proficient of a musician, like if he was complaining about dinner and complaining about this and being just rude to somebody, and then you got to get on stage and like look at him and like act like you're into it, and just like,
it's draining
for sure because you just got to fake it.
Yeah,
it just creates a bad vibe.
So yeah, definitely being a good hang. such an important thing.
How do you be a good hang?
You just don't get in the way. Don't be mean to people. I don't know, like be positive.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to be around someone who's like you just said, oh, the food sucks today. Oh, yeah. Like just always a downer. I don't know. Just try to be happy and try to like be nice to people.
Yeah. So you got to play, like get good at your instrument, hole up. And like, how long did you play before you were like, I think I could like do this in front of people and kind of.
Like I said, I started playing drums in church, so I was always kind of playing in front of people. I was on the drum line though before that in school.
Okay,
and I was pretty good on the drum line,
dude. Yeah, freaking Nick Cannon over here.
It kind of was, dude. It kind of was Nick Cannon. So that's probably where I gained some confidence in drums in general. And then my brother was a worship leader, my older brother.
Oh, okay.
So he's awesome to me. He always like made sure his friends thought I was super cool. when I
What do you
really
mean?
wasn't. He would just like be a homie.
Really?
He would just say, "Yo, look how good my brother is," even if I wasn't good.
Yeah.
His friends were like, "Oh yeah, he's really good."
Whoa. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he like kind of instilled some confidence in me when he didn't have to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So are y'all still pretty tight?
Yeah, we're close.
Yeah.
He's in California. I don't get to see him too often, but
What's he do out there?
he's an engineer, civil
dang.
engineer.
Woo.
Yeah, he's
In
smart.
Cali? Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
dude. He's
Is
San
he-
Francisco. It's like the second most expensive city to live in the
Yeah.
country. He's doing great though.
Yeah, he married and stuff, got
Mhm.
kids and all that.
No kids.
No kids.
Mm-mm.
Crushing it though.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Does he still play at all?
I don't think so. I think he'd be more of like a it's late on the patio playing acoustic kind of thing,
Okay.
but not like playing in front of people.
Sure.
Yeah. But he was the smart one. I was just like the creative one, I would say. I always liked writing music, maybe more so than he did. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah, dude. So you got to play,
Yeah.
grind it out.
Yeah. You have to play consistently. If you stop playing even for like a couple weeks, there's going to be like a lull in your playing. So for example, with Koe, we're going to have some shows starting, I think on March the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 weeks before that, play every day, play for an hour every day before that starts. So that when the shows start happening, you're starting sharp. You don't want to use those shows to start sharpening yourself because then the first shows won't be as good as they can be.
Yeah, dude.
Right. It's little thoughts like that I think some people don't think about.
For sure.
There's lots of little like ideas that I've kind of come up with over the years. Maybe that's common sense, but to me it wasn't.
No, because it takes discipline.
Yeah.
And I think that's like most successful people. They probably do things throughout their day that might seem mundane and pointless to others, but it's like purposeful. And it might not be some big extravagant process, but they like do something every single day to like achieve this.
Dude, something I saw Parker McCollum do. He like reads a lot of books.
Really?
I don't like reading.
Yeah.
But I remember
dude,
just
get on that
talking to
audiobook
him
train.
about that, and I was like, he was just explaining to me how it like widens his vocabulary, like it makes his perspective change on things. Not even like political or religious things, just like just opens his mind. Yeah, I was like, man, I should probably start reading books.
Dude, they say something about, because I hate reading too, and it seems so inefficient with my time. Like I could listen to an audiobook and drive and go, like work, do whatever, and I could be listening to it. But supposedly there's some sort of research on like the physical act of reading it that somehow stimulates something. I know that sounded super scientific, but
It was. Next week on TED Talk. You know what I mean?
dude.
Like,
I'm going to get up there and go, so something scientific happens. Okay, so first deal is like you got to play your instrument. Second,
gotta be a good hang.
got to be a good hang.
It sounds so simple. but
Did you
it's-
play sports
I played baseball and tennis.
for how long?
I was like on like coach pitch, and then like I didn't play t-ball and baseball, but basically when I was like 5 or so, I started playing baseball.
But you were like hanging out with people and in social interactions with other kids and stuff quite a bit.
a lot, yeah.
Because that being a good hang, man, I don't know.
Plus, I'm one of 4 kids in the family, so
well,
there's
that'll do it, for
always
sure.
siblings around, you know.
It seems like some of it might just come from getting called out on stuff. Like,
Probably.
because if you're a bad hang, like whether in your family or on like a sports team, you're going to pretty quickly start realizing I do these things and people don't like me and don't want to be around me. But I guess if you're never around anybody to learn that, then you just keep doing it, and then you just become a bad hang.
Dude, on that same token, imagine like some of the younger kids right now who had that whole year of COVID where they couldn't hang out with anyone. I bet you that stunted some of their vocabulary, stunted some of their ability to talk to people.
Hey,
I feel bad for them.
I think it's going to be real bad
Mm-hmm.
because you already have. I'm not like an anti-video games or like. I do think that there might need to be some sort. You know, if you're sitting in your room for 12 hours a day doing it, like it's going to be a problem.
Were you a video game kid?
It was like a social thing. Like, let's all play Madden.
Sure.
You know, I'd play it with my buddies or like Call of Duty and Halo, but you would do it with your friends and you would compete, talk trash. And,
Yeah.
And I never was super into like fantasy stuff, like by myself. Which there might be a difference there. It was more like my buddy comes over and we play video games.
Halo parties or something like that. Yeah.
But it was, to me, that was not a lot different than playing a board game with your friends or playing cards or something.
Yeah.
But it was an activity together.
I never played video games.
For real?
Maybe at the end of high school.
Yeah.
Do like you said, the Madden or like the Halo parties and stuff like that. I would just go outside and build jumps for my bike. And just
for you, little BMX.
Hours and hours and hours.
Really?
I didn't have to talk to anyone.
Oh, I did a lot of that too. Yeah. Dude, freaking, yeah, we had trails out behind the house.
Yeah.
Build little kickers and all that kind of stuff.
That's the best.
Yeah, freaking wreck my ribs. And my shins.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get pretty good?
I mean, I was never like insane. I just had so much fun doing it.
Yeah.
I would like build the biggest jumps I could possibly build for like how much speed I could get. And I would WOD all the time. I just come home blood, everywhere. But I just had fun doing it.
Yeah, dude. Skateboarding, BMX, motocross. Did you ever wakeboard? Were you into wakeboarding?
I have been before. I'm not awesome at it, but I have fun.
Yeah. I love that too.
It's crazy. The older you get, the more it's like, man, my legs are going to be tired afterwards. I'm going to go home, be sore. Yeah. But when you're young, you don't think about any of that.
No. And it seems to have, I think it's like after 25.
Maybe so.
You just start becoming even a little bit more. Everybody tells you that. And then one day you kind of wake up and you're like, oh my gosh.
Sore today.
Yeah, like I hurt
very
bad.
Sore.
Started playing, I played like a little bit of college basketball. And I started playing basketball again like 3 months ago or something. And like the first 2 pickup games I played, dude, it was bad. I thought I was going to die.
No way.
I couldn't move the next day. And it was a funny moment to have, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. Like I was intimidated, and I'd be like, man, I hope they pick me.
Oh no, it was like that.
I'm like the old guy. I hope
You're tall though. I'm sure you were picked pretty quick.
Sorta, but they're like,
we don't know him.
It's probably the things that you don't even realize. They're like, why is he wearing those shoes?
Oh no.
It's like the things you don't know. And they're like, he's wearing his socks like that went out of style 30 years ago. And you don't know. I'm the guy walking in there thinking it's still cool.
Dude, that got me thinking about the last time I played. I didn't play in high school or anything like that. But I played a pickup game with some guys that worked at the gym I was going to. And these guys are very unathletic. And I remember like one of the dudes, like they're so unathletic. Like if you were to play with someone who's like decent, like they know how to move their body the right way and stuff like that. Yeah. These people like were throwing bows, like didn't know where things were going to go. So I remember like one of the dudes just elbowed me right in the face. I was just like, I can't be playing basketball with these people. You know what I mean? I actually really haven't played much since then. I think they like chipped my tooth or something.
Good grief.
It just wasn't worth it for a pickup game of basketball.
They're just so out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then you get hurt.
Not good.
No, not even a little bit. I get so frustrated. I was screaming at little kids. Not good for me.
No. Can't be screaming at little kids.
No, I had to work on that for sure. But their parents don't yell at them. So,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's my job. Set them straight.
Whoa. Thump him on the nose.
Dude.
Be better.
Old G-Paw had that freaking big old ring. Just whop you right on the head. I mean, how somebody could generate such force.
To the forehead?
Dude. Just dense.
For me, when I was in church, my dad wouldn't let me sleep. He wouldn't let me
chew gum?
To focus.
Were you allowed to chew gum? For real?
But it was on the bulletin. I would just count God and Jesus. How many times the preacher would say God or Jesus? So if I wasn't like paying attention, he would thump me on the back of the head. It would hurt so bad.
Yeah, dude. I at least got to lay down.
Dude, that's on my bucket list. That's on my bucket list. I don't care how old I am. I'm going to
go
to church.
I'm
going to fall asleep, sprawled out the entire way.
Dude, let's go do that.
I'm super down.
I'll do it with you.
Let's do it.
But I'm going to chew gum. That's going to be mine.
Because you couldn't chew.
So that's gum. Funny. Like I was allowed to lay down and like sleep.
Not chew gum?
But
you'd smack or what?
Probably.
Okay. I was stoked for the gum. Mom was like, anyone want gum? I was stoked. Yeah.
It probably was because we would be loud.
Yeah.
At least if I was sleeping, it was like, okay,
These kids nowadays have iPads, like playing Angry Birds. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you had to write. At least you were writing down God and Jesus. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny about things when you have to be quiet or when things are the funniest? So I remember my sister would sit next to me, and I would draw her, but it would be like making her look super stupid or whatever it was. You know, make her look super like massive eyes, whatever it would be, and then we'd just try not to laugh. But it's like the hardest to not laugh.
Oh, for sure.
When you're supposed to be quiet,
and that might be that or a funeral.
Oh yeah,
funeral's a little darker.
It's a little more. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever had that happen.
I think I might have.
Oh, for real?
When I was younger, yeah.
I don't know why I felt like I had to whisper.
No, because we were talking about being quiet.
Oh
maybe.
My gosh! What was the funeral one?
To me, it sounds like something that would have happened. I can't remember a specific time. I used to go to funerals all the time. My parents would just take me to these things. I didn't want to go.
Like for people at the church?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're invested into the church.
Yeah.
So that maybe that's another reason that I'm, I guess, able to be more social with people. I've just always had to talk to people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my mom can talk to a brick wall.
Really?
Yeah.
Like she's good at talking, or she just starts
likes it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's good at talking.
Like she's a good conversationalist. She's not just like.
No, she's great. I'm just saying she can talk to anyone.
Okay, because there's some of those people that they're like a Jack Russell Terrier. You know what I mean?
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah. Like a Jack Russell on meth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not your mom. Your mom is not that.
I don't think no.
Your mom is not.
She has wine sometimes.
She has wine sometimes. Hey, so y'all start touring in
a couple weeks
in the spring, right? Or in
March the 3rd, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Or first
where's that first one?
Independence, Kansas.
Okay, cool.
Just outside of St. Louis.
And this will be nationwide, right?
Yeah, the shows are almost every weekend through July.
Okay.
That's when we had the dates booked through. I'm not sure if they're probably booked more, but
yeah,
as of now, it's through July.
Yeah.
So
do you have other projects or anything else that like people need to go check out or follow or anything like that other than?
No, not really. Every once in a while I'll record drums for other bands.
Okay.
But, like I said, we just got back from recording Koe's record. So I have had these last few weeks to just lay low and do things like this. You know what I mean?
For sure, man.
But yeah, I don't have everything else as of now.
Hell yeah, dude. Do you have a third advice for, you had your first two advices for the young musician. What's your third one? You don't have to have one.
No, the first thing that popped into my head was, be able to take advice from people. You know, there are so many bands that I've talked to that are younger that I'm not saying what I have is like the perfect advice ever, but I've given so many bands advice that I think that are easy things to do that they just choose to not do them. And then I see them all break up. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but just be able to take advice from people, maybe people that you look up to or someone that's more successful than you are.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Be able to take correction.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah, dude. That's super important.
I would say so.
It takes a certain element of just being humble enough to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like when I was younger, I didn't want to hear. I just thought my music's good and this music is bad, which come to find out it was pretty much the opposite.
Right. That's interesting. So when was there a certain point that you were like willing to take some sort of criticism? Or?
I just think after a while, after touring a little bit and seeing bands become more successful, I was like, okay, well, there's something that they're doing. There's something that's working for them. I think just kind of like evaluating other bands, and other bands' success.
Yeah,
I can't tell you when that happened. Probably 2010 or 11, something like that.
Yeah, that seems like one of the most important things.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, cool. Everybody, go see a show with Koe, and I need to go to a rock concert with you.
Dude, I'll take you to one.
What will we go to?
I'll send you a list of things that you can choose from.
Can we really? I'm not messing around. Let's go to one.
Yeah. I would love to take you to a Fit for a King one, but we won't be here when they're playing in Dallas.
Okay.
Unfortunately. But, dude, Koe's pretty much a rock show.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't play with a shirt on. It's spitting water.
So you get after it.
Oh, I just do my same thing. Yeah.
Oh, so and that's totally something that he wanted to bring in. I'm sure.
So.
Yeah.
He didn't tell me. So. I was like,
for real?
I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense though, because it's like, I actually heard Mayer say that when he was going on sessions playing guitar for guys. He kind of got in his head because he's like, well, what do they want me to do? And he's like, well, if they ask me to come play, they probably just want me to do me, you know? So I'm sure if he asked you, he's just like,
I didn't realize that. Yeah. I tried to just do what I thought was the right thing to do, or I thought was the thing that he wanted. But now I think a part of the reason that he wanted me to play was because I was just doing me.
Totally. Yeah, dude.
So,
well,
I think,
well, you need to find, I'm sure it is. That's my moral support.
Thank you. I'm going to receive that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Well, find a rock show for us to go to.
I got you.
Go, but I don't know how to do it.
No, I'll make sure that you have all like the. I'll hold your hand. You know? Don't walk here. You're going to get punched in the face. You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm gonna wear my cowboy hat.
Yeah. I almost wore cowboy boots here, but I thought, you know what? I just got a pair because I'm trying to, you know.
Heck yeah, dude. What'd you get?
There's a pair of Justins.
Yeah.
Little ostrich.
I like
quill,
it.
Yeah.
Full quill. Heck yeah.
I don't even know what all that means. Someone just told me what to get.
At least you said it, man. You know. Come on. Now you know. You're in the club. Yeah, I'll have to dress up like
I'll get you some skinny jeans, some black. Can you not do it?
Hold on, give me a second. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna have.
You can do it. Honestly, just wear all black. You could do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
But at the same time, there's something good about standing out. So maybe you can still wear the cowboy hat.
Dude, I have black Wranglers, and I mean, I starch those suckers up.
Oh, yeah.
Creases down the middle.
Was it called heavy starch?
Dude,
is that a thing?
Man, I live at the dry cleaners. If you looked at my dry cleaning bill.
Oh, my.
It's unbelievable.
You have like a subscription?
Dude, my jeans, like you could stand them like in the corner. They would just stand
impressive.
Up. Sounds like, I don't know. Like you can flick them. They're like a diving board.
Dude, I owned my first pair. One of my best friends got married, and that's why I bought the pair of boots. He said, you have to wear these boots. You have to have these heavy starched jeans and like just like a button up shirt.
Heck yeah, dude.
And it was the same thing. I was like, dude, I can't even move wearing these jeans right now.
Yeah, bro.
Like I said, I'm used to wearing skinny jeans, but it's different. Starched jeans is different.
For sure. It is such an absurd thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, when people are like, why do you do that? I'm like,
I don't know.
I love it.
I love it.
It's just, I don't know. It's just totally one of those ridiculous cultural things.
Yeah.
That it's just like, that's just what you do.
Well, it looks good.
I guess.
The pants look nice. You know? Might have holes in them. That would say.
So yeah, I'll wear my black starchies.
Okay.
Would somebody punch me if I wore a cowboy hat?
Of course. You're bigger than everyone. No one's going to punch you.
Okay. Well, that's good. I don't want to get hit. I just want to hear the music.
Just be nice, be likable, right? We're going to get to do things.
Hey, be a good hang.
Be a good hang.
Be a good hang. I'm going to walk in there like a little Jack Russell.
There you go. Oh, no. I'm going to get this guy out of here.
Get this guy. Cowboy hat. All right. Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Heck
this is fun.
Y'all go check out a Koe show. Adios.
In the canyon, that's where I